Mercedes, they're on a roll. What do you think about Mission Vets now? They got a rebound from this game.
Yeah, I think Mission Vets is look. This is one of those games that it's an eye awakener for we can't let a team get that kind of lead, and then we can't step off the gas.
Man, they had a great comeback and it didn't work out. I still think they have a lot of good players. I was impressed with 6. Julian Mesa is a safety, and he was just killing people, man. That little guy, pound for pound, hits as hard as anybody in the Valley. He's fun to watch, and he gets a kick out of doing it, too. And the kids get energized when he goes in there and slugs somebody, and I mean legally, I don't mean slugs. That's a catalyst for that team, man. Well, as Gilpin's team, they play with emotion. What a great comeback. Now, let's see. Turn the page here, and who do they play? Who does Mission Veterans play now? Valley View. Okay, over there. I think they get back on track as long as they do everything right. They need to win because that was the start of district. They're 0-1. You don't want to be 0-2, as we say every week.
No, and Valley View lost a tough one in Mission, so I think that this is a good game for them. Just like Economies with La Jolla, this is one of those games that you like to see.
You turn the page, man. You got to turn the page. That was yesterday. Let's see what you have now. Okay, speaking of turning the page, it took me several hours to figure out whether Ed Couch won or lost last week. That's probably not a good sign for La Máquina.
No, and especially 2 weeks in a row. And they had to come back again this week. The week before it didn't work out. This week it did, but double overtime.
You cannot continue to live dangerously like that. Now, bottom line is 1-0 in district is all that matters. But man, Roma was pretty feisty. We looked at those films. Those guys not that big this year. Remember they were real big on the line last year? But they're quick. And they executed pretty well. They picked up a fumble. They picked off a pass. They had Ed Couch on their hind legs, man. 14-0 in the first half.
Yeah, and I think what you saw is that Orly Solis is everything.
He's tough, man. You know what he does? He goes laterally, and then he goes forward quick. I mean, he'd be 8-9 yards downfield, but when he just made the cut, that guy's super fast like a bug.
What'd you call him during
the water bug?
Yeah, the water bug.
He's amazing. No wonder he had 460 yards in one game. Okay, so Ed Couch has to play Mission now. That's a tough game. Mm-hmm. Mission's got one of the best defenses. In what years? It don't matter. 1980, 2002, one of the best defenses again. So against Ed Couch, I'm interested to see. I'm not going to judge the Yellow Jackets right now. Everybody's down on them. You go to these message things and people are like, they're not that good. Let's just see. Let's see how they come back against Mission because that team's got a lot of pride. I expect them to make a very good effort against Mission.
Oh, yeah. Look, them coming back against Roma showed a lot of guts, a lot of determination because the week before, it didn't work out. And I think if you watch the highlights, Isaac Martinez at the end,
they wanted it. They had to have it. Laredo ran it. In other words, it was just strange to see Ed Couch struggling with Roma. Now maybe things are different than they were in the past, but in Roma, this is one of the only teams that's never made the playoffs, man. But they took Ed Couch. I thought they had him. In fact, I had heard from someone that they lost, and I was just stunned driving along. I'm like, you're kidding me. Incredible. Kudos to Roma, who now goes to Rio, and Rio found that magic last week, won 34-0 against PSA Southwest. So that's a better game than it looked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Look, I think Roma, from what they did against Ed Couch, if they can carry that on.
Oh, man.
They're at least going to be the third or fourth seed in that district.
That's a playoff performance, man. Absolutely. Well, there were some amazing comebacks this week, right, or last week. One of them was in that Ed Couch game, but another one was in Raymondville and Rio Hondo. Did you read the details on that game? Raymondville was down 30-7. Rio Hondo was killing them, man. And they scored 34 points in a row, did the Bearcats, ended up winning 41-30. You have to be really excited if you're Raymondville, and if you're Rio Hondo, you got to be going, man, how did we let that happen?
Yeah, the good thing is it's not a district game.
It's never a district game. They'll be playing district in December.
Yeah. They've got a ton of non-district games. So, look, that game is just it's a learning curve.
An aberration, they say, because Rio Hondo put it all together for 3 quarters, man. But Raymondville scored 27 points in the fourth. They got Rosales, Valladares. They took the lead on a pass to Spencer Akers. Now, their quarterback, Guillermo Esparza, is having some good ball games. He don't get a lot of credit out there because we don't talk as much maybe about 3As, but he's had a good season. He had 180 yards against them.
I'm a big Rio Hondo fan ever since
giving up too many points.
Yeah. But it's the old teams. They don't do that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They don't let anybody back. And I think this is one of those good games where they can realize, hey, it's 4 quarters, no matter what the score.
Everybody says 4 quarters, finish. How do you accomplish that? In other words, what's missing? Is it conditioning when you get blown out in the 4th quarter like that? Is it mental? I mean, of course, every situation is different, but I guess what you're saying is they have to ask themselves, how did that happen? And let's make sure that thing doesn't ever happen again.
Yeah, I think it's a mental thing, especially when you're up that much.
Golly, I mean, they lost 41-30. So Raymondville now is at La Feria. Let's face it, that is a 3A game of the week because both are, Raymondville 3-2, La Feria 4-1. I added up. The final score should be 34-33 because that's what they're averaging. It's going to be an exciting offensive game.
Wow.
Yeah, La Feria, man, they're nobody's fool this year. They have a good team. Raymondville, boy, they've been up and down, but boy, it seems like they can really score points in a hurry.
Yeah, and La Feria is, they played 4A teams really strong. I mean,
Yeah, beautiful. Eh?
yeah, they in the scrimmages they played 5As.
Yeah, they did.
So-
And they blew out Santa Maria, who, by the way, was 3-0 before that game, and they got some good players. They're going to have a chance to win that little A district. Okay, so La Feria, Raymondville. Gruya comes off the win or the loss to Port Isabel. They got Hidalgo at home. I really still think the Gators are headed for the playoffs big time.
Oh, I think so too. I think they're maybe the second best team down here in 3A.
Peña Blanca was not able to run the ball. He had 110 passing, but he only rushed by like 10 or 12 times for 20 something. So, that's Port Isabel though.
Yeah.
That's Port Isabel defense. Hidalgo defense is going to present a little bit different of a picture. I think Gruya has a pretty good shot there. That PI team now is on the road at Zapata. That could be gruesome.
Yeah.
Now, no offense. I seem like I pick on Zapata every week. I apologize for that. Lo siento. It's my fault.
But hey, look, it's a long trip for them too. It's not a.
You get some great barbecue, I think.
Yeah, but you go all the way out there, and Zapata is different. I mean, it's
It's like going to Laredo.
when you don't think you're going to beat them, you beat them. And then when you think you can beat them, it doesn't.
They
happen.
had some teams back in the day. They've got that good running back, but they, I think they're what? Let's see, where is Zapata? They're 2-3. They're not incredible. They beat Crystal City, but let's face it. I mean, that ain't exactly the world's most incredible result. You wouldn't expect PI to have any problem with Zapata, but let's see if that long drive has anything to do with that. Rio Hondo and Lyford. So Rio Hondo comes off that loss to Raymondville against a Lyford team that gave up 621 yards and 69 points. I'm very surprised at the way Lyford has struggled this year because that's a good football program with a great staff.
I think we saw, at the beginning of the year, we thought, Scott Arnold is, whipping the ball against, who was it, St. Joe?
Yeah.
And they really haven't been able to stop anybody.
No. He came back. Arnold did and had 275 last week, but they're 0-5. And of course, Rio Hondo's got to be smarting after that loss. So one of these teams has got to get it together. I have a feeling it might be the Bobcats.
I think so too.
Yeah. What about Progreso and La Villa? Speaking of, I like the small schools, man. I know we're going overtime, but you know what? These teams deserve some credit too. Progreso is doing good. Like I said, we're going out there. If they make the playoffs, man, we're going to go out there with the cameras and we're going to do it, and somebody will.
Well, they've always had athletes. They just never been able to put it together for the entire season.
It's hard for them to keep kids, and it's hard for them to keep kids in the summer because they all work or they go upstate to work. So I mean, I'm excited for them. But against La Villa, they beat Bruni 46-6. I was all worried about the Bruni Badgers. They were a pushover, man. Give me a break. Forget about Bruni. Now it's Progreso. That's going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, and I think everybody thought that La Villa was going to, they started slow, but look at them now.
Yeah, they're rolling. And look, if you look at winning percentages the last 10 years, they're right up there. They've had a really good run. Okay, now Monte Alto against MMA. I know you're like, why are we talking about them? Because the kids work hard and it's good football. MMA is having a tough year. They're 0-4. They haven't been close. Monte Alto started to get together. They beat Benavides. So let's see what they do there.
Yeah, I like their logo. I like their mascot.
I know you should. Yeah, the Blue Devils, right? Now Santa Maria comes off that loss. They play Lasada. Did you know that Lasada has a football team? Well, you should because they're right in the hunt here. They host Santa Maria. I think that La Feria may have beaten Santa Maria 42-0, but that's because it's a 3A team against a 1A. I think that against a team of their own level, they're going to get back to scoring some points and having some yards. They got that Felix Cantu guy. They got another kid, Isaac Garcia, I think is his name. So they've got some kids who can play.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to get out to Santa Maria too.
Yeah.
We'll do some bird hunting out there and we'll go see a football game. Well, we're almost ready to get out of here, cut and run, because the week is coming. And here's the thing I want to do, Jake. I want to talk about the only Valley team we haven't mentioned so far. Not St. Joe, you mentioned it, that's right. But Far Oratory, they have a team too, and they play at London, Corpus Christi, London. I'm going to be rooting for those guys, man. I want to see them turn it around and get a win.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them on our schedule. I have yet to go out to see a game ever.
When I moved down here in 1912, whenever it was, I made it my business to go to every place, every school, see every team, but that's one team I haven't seen yet, but I'm getting out there one of these days. It may not be this year, but what is the Oratory mascot, do we know?
I don't have a clue.
Okay, we'll have it for you next week. I want them to win, and we're going to talk them up. We're going to get some stats in those guys. Now, the only thing we have left is to throw it to one more. We're going to do one more pitch here. We're going to congratulate our Coach of the Week, Mike Uribe at Mercedes. Outstanding win. You guys keep the faith over there, man. I know it's not easy. And Isaiah, we're with you, man.
Okay, let's bring it back. We'll say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know what?
Sponsors?
Yeah, sponsors.
Okay.
All right, in 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, Jake, we told everybody we were going to go away, but since it's the web, we can stay here all night. I don't really think that you want to. I don't even think that I want to. Yeah, your wife does have a problem with that, and so will mine. Bottom line is, let's wind it up by talking about the people who make it happen here for us.
Yeah, special thanks to McDonald's, South Texas College, and the Paint Auto Group. Without you guys, we would have been able to do this show and get all the video for all this stuff that we're doing.
Hey, the community is always part of this, man. To me, it's a symbiotic relationship. Boring academic lecture ahead, but a symbiotic. We like the sponsors. We love what we do, and that's cool. Now, what else is there? Is that it?
That's it. You can go online and check out our McDonald's Plays of the Week. Everything that we're doing right here. This week we're actually going to break it up into sections on the web after this also. So you'll be able to see it by district because a lot of people were wondering.
You're going to put those cheerleader and band and fan pics up too?
Yep.
When do those usually go up?
They usually go up on Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, we'll be looking for those. Something every day on this channel, on this website, whatever you want to call it. We love what we do. Greg Selber, Jake Berry, the show is done.